Good morning, ladies. My name is Jazz, and welcome to the What If Smasher. I just almost forgot the name of it. Was in My Hero Academia. And I was gonna pick the name, or like the what if Zuko was defeated the overpowered character. So, when I do like wanted to make this. So he is the clumsy brother to the one that you see before you. Her. Yeah. So, yeah. I was gonna put put him with her to make her have a brother, but I was like, nah. Just nah. I only. Huh? So, yeah. I just went, nah. Only a best people with her. So, he's clumsy. He always that's why he always has his arms across his chest so that he doesn't break anything. Cuz when he was young, he didn't do the same thing. So, yeah. So, when every time his sister, he checks on his sister when she's working on something, as he says, "What are you working on, sister?" Not so much. It's one of the coolest designs. Well, okay. So, they had their quirks checked. He's, for hers, is exam thing, or Zoom. I forget her quirk. But he's more of the infinity and zero as his powers, not his quirk. Because his quirk is actually know all. Basically, when he always have these weird dreams. And then their quirks get added to his body. Let me give you the details of it. Every time he dreams about something or someone, he gets the copied version of their quirks. Basically, if he was dreaming about um, her, or like someone else. Sorry. So, yeah, they went to a doctor's, and plus, with Infinity, allows him to go into like any anime or movies or anything. Like he can, one day he like goes to sleep, and like he becomes that, or he gains the powers of like the spirit ball. But he does like limit himself. That's why he is his like small form, so that he can fit into small spaces. And he actually can, or his hair could change colors. Like he can turn it from like brown to red, then to black. So yeah, he's basically, that's only just a scratched off a surface thing of his power. And when they reach 15, sorry, keep tapping on it so that to see how much time, because I noticed in the last two videos I didn't check this corner yet, like this thing, because at the very end. So let's continue. So, and she worries about her brother, because sometimes very too much. So when they went into Quirk's thing, as his sister says, "You'll do great." In the heroes one, well, and don't worry, big brother, I'll always give you the support items. She knows that, and all the support you need. Thanks, sister. That it's what he's saying. Thanks, sister. As he becomes like strong, and a couple nights he had a dream where he had like, or actually he had everyone's powers, as he basically used Todoroki's ice and fire, and then his eyes turned green. Like his eyes turned absolutely green, and time stopped, like time froze, and like he basically beats every robot and saved everybody from it. So, and it covers his eyes as it went back to his original color. And yeah, the his score passes everyone. Like he passed even All Might's, or past All Might's, its high score. So yeah, he basically is tough as nails. So sorry about that. That was my machine. So as he's more better control over his powers when he has more confidence in himself, because he actually, because his sister always says to him, well, you always trained harder than most of the people. Yeah. And yeah, like every single day. So he's like, okay. As I was gonna put him in like class 1B so that because I have a lot of class 1B stuff. But I know that, of course, there's during all that like quirk assessment test, or like after, of course, everyone and couldn't believe that he did it in about faster than anyone. Yeah. So he lifts his head up as he gets on to a bus, front row, and so that he can go get off before. And yeah. And some of you might be asking, where's Zuko, by the way? Oh, well, he's here, but I'm giving him a quirk called I'm trying to think. All. Oh. Ultimate all. So it's not all for one or one for all. It's called Ultimate All. It's similar to Smasher's Infinity and Zero power. So, but it's like watered down version. So he gains whopping 9999999. So yeah, let's continue. So during the first day, or like I'm skipping the Or actually, I'm skipping the ball throw, but the real quirk assessment test thing of to move that brick, or that, like, that's heavier than, like, time itself. So, yeah. He basically, they have to work together. Class 1A and 1B had to work together. And that robot and, like, get into UA one, she actually developed feelings for Smasher. That's his name, by the way, Smasher. Not like, you know. So everyone tried, or except for Smasher, as they're trying to lift it up. They're trying to, like, use their quirks, and, like, nothing happens. As Todoroki's like, we failed. As Mr. Aizawa says, not exactly all of them. Yeah. You still have Smasher. Go ahead, Smasher. Okay. As he walks over, grabs it by the handles, or actually, he lifted it with one hand, and it moved. Like, it got lifted all the way up into the air. Like, he's that strong. As he says, see, that's how people, or you students, should be. Lifting those things with no problem. And that's why you're here as students, to train you to use your quirks and your, like, abilities. So he's like, where do you want me to put this? As he says, well, put it anywhere except for that spot, because it looks like dead grass to me. As he puts it on, literally on the, like, concrete. As they're like, I mean, at first they were like, what? How is that possible? And then when, and of course, Mushroom Girl is like, I mean, is seen hit her boyfriend's power hour for a very first time. So, yeah. And he says, or actually Smasher says, there we go. Oh. As he says, thank you, Smasher. Now, no. As he turns around and tells the other students that they need to do the same training as he does. Like, train harder. Because Mr. Aizawa knows that Smasher trains almost every single day, every single minute. As from the far, of course it was her, she was watching from afar. As Hmm. My big, or actually, um, he says, "Is he your boyfriend or something?" As he's kind of curious, as she says, "Nope, he's my brother." Hmm. He's a stubborn one, but other than that, he's more confident in everything. But when he gets mad, on the other hand, just make sure you are on the other side of a world. As they're like, okay. As he's kind of curious of what's going, or what she means by that. As he asks, uh, or actually, so then I'm skipping the heroes versus villains thing. Or actually, it was like all main teaching like class 1A and 1B to working together because they are both working together to do the same goals. So, as All Might says, alright, so the first match will be Smasher and Mushroom Girl. As she's like really happy. See? Against ow. Sorry. So I stepped to my elbow on the metal thing. So yeah. Next, or it was actually first round was her and Smasher. Her. And by the way, when they were just like little kids, she actually had feelings for him when they were just like kids. Because she knows that he's a brute strength, but he is like kind of like how he doesn't talk much. That's why she likes him. So yeah. So he like, as because it was her and Smasher versus uh, Momo Arozu and Todoroki. So yeah. Todoroki was a villain. Momo was his partner, so she's a villain. She's pretending to be a villain. And Zuko and or not, or Smasher and were her were both teamed up together. So yeah, he basically went full on out. Like he basically as you know what she does? She actually jumped onto his back. Or went followed him behind because he's like a shield. Or he's like a military tank on steroids. So yeah, Momo uses her cannons on him and it fails. Hardly. As All Might's like, his bodies must be invincible for. As he like his superhero costume is crazy. So yeah. And his superhero outfit is similar to Power Loaders, but instead of like piloting it or he is like that, but on a whole nother level. So yeah. Or his sister actually designed the suit so that he can survive anything. So yeah. So he comes in, he crushes the cannon with just one hand. And like, he literally grabs her by the throat, like like here. Hold on, give me a moment. Okay, where is it? Oh, it's like that. With that much power at his disposal, could easily just killed her. Man, does a like light tap so that as that and so All Might's like, holy crud, this guy's not fooling around. Or some of the students are like saying that, like, holy crud, this guy doesn't fool around when he as he goes up and he basically, as he says, she's just got knocked out. She's not dead. As he literally pets her right on the head. Trust me. As she has this adorable face thing. She can't. Okay. As he starts walking up the stairs, and his sister gave him like that monocle thing, or that green. As yeah, he basically knew where it is. So him against, yeah, he told his friend or his partner, I'll just take care of him in about 5 seconds. As he teleports really fast, as right up to Todoroki, he does the same thing as what he did to Momo. Full on sprint, knocking Todoroki out. As and then 100 bomb. Okay. Okay. As he or as she says, you got it, as she runs over, but Todoroki uses the ice to try to do it. But when he turns and sees her entire body got frozen, as it was like a few meters from it, as he's keep control. As he asked All Might if how much time does he have. Less about 5 minutes. As he or his sister notices something's as he or as she says, uh-oh. As he says, what do you mean, uh-oh? As she tells him that better for all of us to check on the Class 1A. Or as Todoroki is what's going on with you? As Smasher became the ultimate. As, yeah, he basically came as a beast of destruction. He basically knocked out Todoroki. Beats him so hard that even blood came out of his mouth. And as All Might saw how brutal it was, so he calls the heroes win. As he sent his, there was shockwaves. As they're oh crud. Yeah. Everyone and they even had to or actually only person as he breaks the ice, really. As his sister came running, because she always has the call thing, So she calls him to check on him. Okay? Yeah. I had just a freak out moment. Some of them are saying that's your freak out moment. And yeah. Because All Might is like, holy crud. Imagine if he went full on berserk. That would be... As they got back to their classes, and I almost did that again. So, during the USJ, I'm skipping the rest. So, the USJ fight happens. Then, Smasher against Nomu and as he says, I'll make a bet. So, actually, he did. As he told 13 to, I'm gonna go get All Might, or gonna go get Eraserhead so that, okay? Because it looks like he's gonna get beat down by that Nomu. So, yeah. So, 13's like, Eraserhead told me to protect all of you. Yeah. But I'll be fine. I'm a man of my word. Okay? As he goes in, grabs the Nomu's punches, lift him up, and like throw him across us. Yeah. As Eraserhead tells him, you should be with 13. Huh. Well, I asked her if to get you, but I'm gonna do it already. So he grabs, or Zuko, or no, Smasher grabs Eraserhead and runs out. But the automatic doors just kicked in. As he had hit one hand underneath, slid, and the Eraserhead underneath, as the warp guy, or actually a Nomu, took Smasher in. Yeah. So they're like beating him down, but he got so enraged that even with that much power at his disposal, he becomes like a Super Saiyan. Ultimate Berserk mode. As he kills the Nomu, injures the villains, and like all that stuff. And we all know which it's Nomu that I'm talking about. Give me a moment. Oh, this one. Yeah, he killed that. So, yeah. Next. Sorry. Let me... Where is... After he injured the rest, of them. Because his power level actually destroyed the entire air USJ with his power. Beam of Light that tells like Nezu and the rest of the pro heroes that they are attacked. But his sisters tells All Might to check on her brother to see if he's okay. He's fine. Or he's probably fine. Oh wait. He's after all. He can handle himself. So yeah. He basically they went in, they see a bunch of unconscious like villains, and some of the one Nomu actually did die, as he was like basically went like full Super Saiyan. And so yeah. As All Might says, huh, you seem more in better days. As he looks at him, really? My jaw, or he says, I was trying to get Racerhead out of here before he gets killed by the Nomu over there. And then all this happened. And I mean, completely honest with you, as All Might's like, so you were trying to get one of the pro heroes or your teacher out of here before, yeah. So then and his superhero outfit that his sister made up for him has ripped. Like they had, you don't see it, but he has, like, I'll just use All Might's is buffed up for him. He has 11 packs, but All Might has, but Smasher has 3 times as much. 33 pack. So yeah. And when he walks out, or he actually says, is the rest of them okay? Well, they're perfectly fine thanks to you. Yeah. Because he grabbed, like, Eraserhead and 13, slid them both under. And then that happened. So, yeah. As he told 13, Ember, I keep my word. Yeah, you do. As when everyone saw his, like, pecs things, or like his pack, he really did that. Or every girl that was, of course, that saw it was like had their mouths drooling and nosebleeds too. So after all that happened, I'm skipping the sports festival and the internships. But before that, after years J, his sister says, "Huh, oh man, I know you're clumsy, but," as he says, "Hey, it's not my fault. It was those dang villains that did it." As he knows that it's a villain's fault, so yeah. So now, we move on to the final wall. So, and one day when they were coming back, actually, when they were going to a camp thing, or before, they went to a mall, like in Class A and Class B. So, yeah. So she saw him, and she pulled him off to his side. And she asked him, because she tells him yeah, as he was embarrassed to, like, he's blushing too. As he smiles at her. And she was not just wearing her, like, superhero clothes, she was wearing, like, her citizen thing. As he tells her that he really likes her too. As it was an embarrassing time. So, yeah, that's what happens. So, she didn't know that she was actually getting crushed by his love. Because she didn't know that he's in love with her. So, yeah. Then, now they camp park, and then I'm skipping the camp park. So, yeah. During the camp park, Class B students and Class A went together. They look over and sees her grabbing on tightly to Smasher's arm, smiling and like. So, yeah. They're like, or some of them are like, what's with those two? As they were asking, they're like literally asking of who or what's going on. Because, hilarious thing, the some of these students like Maya and Denki couldn't believe that their classmate is dating, or actually Darkshadow told that he's dating that mushroom girl. So, yeah. As, so, no, let's, so that's, so they're like, ooh, as it was Mina that did say that. She says, ooh, the fancy. As he was basically, when he covers both his eyes because he knows, but he, before they left, his sister says, make sure you, me and Roman? Sure. Because they know that his sister's always been so kind-hearted, worry about him. So, yeah. Then I'm skipping the camp park. And only person that really got captured was Smasher. As, yeah. Sorry about that. My throat had a frog in it. So, yeah. Next would be the like him in a strapped to a chair and League of Villains are trying to recruit him, as he says, as Handyman says, you must wanted to be free from all those women in your life. No. As, yeah, he basically did that and, so, Mushroom Girl was worried about him. Like, how will, if he becomes a villain? As the only person that really calms her down is actually one of her classmates. One that's the big hands girl, her. She says, huh, he doesn't give up that easily. We all know that. As, yeah, she basically, they all said that. Like, yeah, he's much stronger, and plus it's his choice to become a villain or become a hero. As, yeah, he basically busts himself out. And he says, huh, I'll take you all on. As he, like, did that. As all for one says, come get me. To bring you to custody? Yeah. As he does that, as all for one against Smasher. Well, he actually, because his or Smasher's sister was basically has a beeping system so that every time her brother reaches a certain point, it pinpoints where he's at. So he's basically at the villain's base. And like he basically went full on berserk, like Superman's wrath. Like basically teleported him and All for One to the sun. And like because he knows that how his little game works. As he says, or actually, hold on. It was on the thing, basically on the water thing. Hilarious part is that his power actually just like when he threw the Powerball thing right at All for One, it obliterated him and the entire water or the surrounding area. So yeah, as yeah. As he did do one thing, he actually did take away the All for One's quirk so that he doesn't have to jingle around. So yeah. So he walks to you as yeah, he basically shows up as All for One, or no, as All Might says, huh, where have you been? Huh. Or actually, he says, are you doing okay? As he says, I'm fine. After all, you know me, I can go down with fighting. So, he actually did. And by the way, All Might, if you're, and the rest of you, if you're curious about what happened to All for One, I destroyed him. As he, like, gives All Might the not really destroyed him. I shrunk him down to a size of a pebble. So, yeah. So here we go. Huh. You're smarter than you look. Yeah. But I chose to be a hero. I'm a bull in the china shop. That's... And, yeah. They were happy. Oh, credit. I did that again. Sheesh.